say is listen up. You definitely want to join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Hop on our screens, drop your messages. We have a very special guest in the studio, but before I let you know who that is, if you want to obviously be a little bit fast forward, then hop onto our screens, Facebook and YouTube. The Durban's only conference for Muslim women, Muslimah Today, hosted by Ilm for Women, a division of Ilm SA, takes place very soon. That is on Sunday, the 7th of September to be exact, and it features many dynamic speakers. And right now, we are honored to be joined in the studio by one of the Muslimah Today 2025 speakers who really needs no introduction. But for those who don't know her, Dr. Razia Abu Baker, she is a homeopathic practitioner and the owner of Wellness Hub by Dr. Baker. She has a special interest in health issues related to women. Dr. Razia, it's such a pleasure to have you back on Urban Women. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam, and jazakallah for having me here. It is so good to be back on the air.
Alhamdulillah. Now, I know that this isn't actually your first time that you are going to be speaking at Muslimah Today. You have spoken once before, but share with us, what do you think is actually unique about this event in your opinion?
So firstly, I just want to say this is going to be the biggest ladies event of 2025.
Wow.
So you have to be there.
Right. I like that.
What makes it different from when I spoke at the last Muslimah Today, which is almost 10 years ago, maybe more, can't remember now, it was a long time ago.
Decade, right?
We're in a totally different era and technology has evolved. We have evolved as people, as women, as mothers, as sisters.
Indeed.
Everything's so different and so fast-paced. And I think that the lineup of speakers this year is just so incredible that you are just drawn by the names that you see on the poster. I think if you're not there, you are definitely going to be missing out on some really good networking, making new friends. But besides that, all of the education we're going to absorb from the type of speakers that there are this year.
And I think it's so important for us to be informed because we are bombarded with so much of information out there, really constantly. We all are on social media and there's always things that we're feeding our consciousness with. So it's important to, I think, get the right kind of knowledge to inspire us correctly. I love the topic that you're going to be addressing, and it's going to be actually beyond burnout, sustainable self-care practices for Muslim women. Now, tell us, why do you personally think that it is so important for us to talk about this?
So the way the topic is going to be discussed is where we're going to break down into different categories. The self-care practices would be the advice that I'm going to give at the end. But during the talk, we're going to talk about why it happens, how it happens, and who it happens to. Because we can all say, I'm in burnout, but what stage of burnout are you in? And what type of burnout are you in? And what is the root cause? Was it overstrain from emotions, overwork from physically overworking, like being at your job from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. or not sleeping enough? Is that an overstrain? And what effect does it have on the human body? Because we can say at the end of the day that we want to take ashwagandha for burnout, but or we in adrenal fatigue, and that's what we need. But if that is not the type of burnout that you're suffering from, or your body has passed the stage of burnout now, then you are going to be on the wrong supplement. So it's all about talking about how in this day and age, what are the types of burnout we can suffer from and the root causes, and what can we do about treating the person? What can they do to prevent themselves getting into burnout? Because once you're there, it's hard to pick yourself back out of that. But there's so many things we can do to prevent it.
Alhamdulillah. And that makes so much of sense. I mean, it's not like, for example, as you're speaking, and I'm thinking, we often use the analogy that our bodies are our vehicles, subhanAllah, that obviously houses the ruh, the soul, and we have to take care of it, right? So I'm just, as you're speaking, like, if our car is just going off the road like this, do we just automatically assume that it's this? What if it's your something else? We don't know internally what could be the problem.
And, strangely enough, females are complicated beings. We can grow people inside us. I mean, that's amazing.
That's
right?
Beautiful. I love that.
Our complicatedness means that we can experience conditions on a different level. So, for example, if you're somebody who is very stressed out, and that stress now affects like your thyroid gland, for example, and you develop an underactive thyroid from after for no reason, no genetic tendencies, or maybe there are genetic tendencies, but whatever stress you then experience after being in that underactive state is experienced 3 times higher. So if the stress is a 3 out of 10, like making sure you're on time for your kids at school, you as a patient who is suffering with burnout or with hypothyroidism is going to experience that stress as a 9 out of 10. Like somebody's going to die if I don't get to school on time.
Wow.
You know, that's how different. So that is what we're going to be talking about.
Beautiful. So wonderful. Now, talking about picking up your kids at school, we know, subhanAllah, you're a mother of 4, including 2 teens and 2 toddlers. You're a wife. You're an amazing businesswoman. Alhamdulillah, a daughter, and also so much more. Share with us. How do you personally avoid burnout?
So let me just correct you there. I'm a mom of an adult, 1 teen and 2 toddlers.
Hey, mashallah, look at that. Right. It gets even better now. I definitely want to know, how do you manage that? How do you avoid your burnout?
So definitely you need to have support systems. I have support systems. I have people I can lean on, whether it's your nanny or your mother-in-law or your mom or a grandparent, an aunt that you can talk to once in a while, a group of friends that are there for to pick you up when you are down. And then also just making sure that my time is managed well. So getting up early, they say the early bird catches the worm.
I so agree with that.
So I'm not saying you need to get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and stay awake. There are some sacrifices that I had to make to ensure I had good mental health to be where I am today. One of them was that I had to sacrifice my morning interview on the breakfast rush. Because it was either the breakfast rush or cuddling with my baby. And my baby is not going to be a baby forever. No. So unfortunately, that is what I chose my daughter.
Absolutely.
But now she's growing up, she's going to go to school, and I can get the breakfast rush back on track. That can happen.
And those memories, will stay with her forever.
Yes, definitely. So time management, I would think, and also just sacrificing what you need to in order to make sure that you are on the top of your game.
So you, from what I hear, you live very consciously with what serves you, rather than just doing things for the sake of it, or being where you need to be for the sake of it, for ticking the box. And from what I hear is that you're living from a very fulfilling point, that if this serves me, being a mother, as you know, that time will go before I blink and they're already an adult. So alhamdulillah. So thank you so much. So remember, listeners, it's the support system that's so amazing, and also your time management. There's also hadith about rising early and something to that effect, and more barakah in the morning. Now, I know I'm going to be putting you on the spot with regards to this one, but very quickly, please, can you just give us 2 tips that we can use to avoid burnout?
So 2 simple things that I can tell you is, if you need help, ask for it. You don't have superpowers.
Thank you.
Have superpowers. Ask for help from whoever it is that is around you, whether it's, I often tell my patients to delegate work that they don't need to do. If you don't need to chop the onions and there's somebody else to chop onions, then if you don't have to slice it with a knife and you can put it in a blender, do it. Okay? So ask for help or use technology where you can. And also stay present in the moment. That would be the second thing, is don't think about what's going to happen in the future or what happened in the past. Move on. It's better to just be in the present, because you can change the future. You can't go back and change the past. It's done, it's done. But your presentness will impact on what's going to happen later on in life.
Love it. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, if you keep living in the past and bringing it into the present, you're recreating a past-present reality. So yes, you can change the future. Don't panic and worry about that. Now, in terms of Muslimah Today, share with us, who are the other speakers? Because you mentioned that they are incredible speakers. Share with us who they are and what they'll be talking about.
So, mashallah, the organizers of Ilm for Women have put together the most amazing lineup. Last year was also a brilliant lineup, but this year it's even better. One of the speakers I am looking most forward to listening to and being in the presence of is Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman from The Gift of the Givers.
SubhanAllah, legendary.
Like, what? We're voting for him to be the next president.
Right? Imagine, it would be like a perfect country.
Exactly.
And perfection, can that even happen?
It can, if he is the president, inshallah, one day. So I'm very excited about listening to him. And he's going to be talking to us about what he's learned being a humanitarian over the years and in his experience with Gift of the Givers. So I think those lessons are important for us to take, because we also have to give back to the community. So does Al Ansar, try to give back in every way possible. But this is where you have the opportunity as an individual to learn from him.
Yes.
So if there was one reason that I would pick to attend this conference, it would be to listen to him. If I wasn't a speaker, I would be going to listen to him. So he's number one on the list. Then there is Naima Roberts, who is a world famous author. She's coming down from Zimbabwe. She's going to be talking about dealing with the tests and trials of being positive and trying to have an optimistic outlook on life, which I think is very much needed in terms of where we are with like social media influence in our lives and the demotivation we've gone through post-COVID and picking yourself back up at the end of the day. And then there's also Hanan Kanan, who's relocated from Gaza to South Africa last year, and she's going to be talking about the lessons that we can learn from the women and children in Gaza. So also one of the favorites on my list, because it is current affairs and we need to be in touch with current affairs. And then we have Muallima Farzana Adam, who's going to be talking about lessons we can learn from some of our female the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I had the opportunity to give a talk with her, alongside her, at a girls' madrasa about a week ago, and it was mind-blowing. So let me just tell you,
great.
The speakers of this year are really incredible. And I think we also have Ruqayya Parak, who will be reciting the opening Qira and sharing her reflections about it. And I've been told that if you haven't heard her before, it is something magical and mesmerizing.
Oh, how beautiful. Quran, imagine that.
And then, of course, there's me.
I was going to just say that. How can we do that? Let me say, there's going to be a Dr. Raisa Abu Baker talking about Beyond Burnout. I think that's so wonderful. So really an amazing and impactful lineup of speakers. So how can women that are listening in and also thinking, you know what, this is something that I can't afford to miss out on as well. How can they go about purchasing their tickets, securing their spot?
Definitely should not miss out. So quickly go and grab a pen or get your phone and start typing. I'm going to give you the details of how to purchase a ticket. And if you can't do it online, then you can WhatsApp for a ticket. The tickets are just 325 Rand. And you can, and that's including the booking fee if you're doing it online. It may sound expensive to some, but it's also coming with a lovely goodie bag. The opportunity to win many prizes, including a complete set from us, from the Dr. Baker's Weight Loss and Aesthetics.
Oh, nice.
It also includes lunch and refreshments, and there's stationery and all of that hours of inspiration and motivation and empowerment that we're going to be getting.
Fantastic.
You can buy the tickets. I hope your pen is ready online at www.ilmsa.co.za/MT2025. I'm going to put up the link on my stories as well.
Great.
And you can also WhatsApp for a ticket on 083 271 4500. And if you need more information, you can also just WhatsApp that number. Remember, the website again is www.ilmsa.co.za/MT for Muslimah Today 2025.
Wonderful. So that's happening on Sunday. That, remember the date, it's the 7th of September from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m.
Yes.
So it's a full day. The doors do open at 8 a.m. And just remind us again, where is the venue?
The venue is at NMJ in Morningside. I think besides the speakers and the lineup and the food, the one thing that I'm looking most forward to is interacting with other women in the crowd. Because that actually boosts your progesterone and you leave that room feeling so much better. So
Wonderful.
I think just that is enough for me to say, definitely get a ticket.
I think it's not just any woman as well. It's the quality of the woman and how you can benefit. So their energies. I hear you, Dr. Baker. So wonderful having you on. Love having your energy here joining us on Urban Woman. We look forward to connecting with you again, inshallah. Until then, it's time for us to wrap up. All the best with this. I know it's going to be amazing. So head over, book your ticket, secure your spot, and listen also live to Dr. Baker and so many other fantastic speakers. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.